Aspas jugando alrededor. Panchito con una vaca. Panchito con segunda vaca. Y a Panchito lo mismo.
No real damage. There's a follow-up. Another flash. Nade on top of it. It's a masterclass.
Here with the coach of Sentinels, Kaplan. Now, Kaplan, that was a clinical map from Sentinels. Very, very quick. How do we maintain that momentum going into map 2, and how do we not become overconfident going into map 2?
Yeah, I mean, with these guys, we're so good, I just don't think there's such thing as overconfident, right? We said at the beginning of the day, hey, we look really good. We cleaned up for 100 Thieves. We just messed up behind a little bit. Let's push our own narrative that we're really just insane, and, you know, we don't feel like our first 2 series reflect it, so we're going for the 2-0. Feel good about it.
Going for the 2-0. Well, thank you so much.
Overconfidence, the word doesn't exist in the dictionary of Sentinels, clearly, according to the coach there. But, you know, I think that they have plenty of reason to feel confident because they came into that matchup and absolutely mollywopped Leviatán. That was just not even close.
That's disgusting. I mean, there's a reason why we were so excited to see how that pick would go for them, because it was a big opportunity for them to blow it out the water, and that they did. They made it just as bad as the 100 Thieves.
Look at the track. Look how many rounds they won. 3 rounds for Leviatán, Wyatt.
It's killing me. Sen's retakes were so good. They got one thrifty, and it mattered so much. It was on round 2, and everything just spiraled out of control. Lev have got to stop playing this map. It's giving 100 Thieves an ascent last year. They are just not winning on this map. They have to get it out of the pool.
Maybe this is your permaban.
Yeah, it's
catching strays.
It's got to stop. It's a comparison. It's just, listen, comparing and contrasting.
There were so many close rounds from Leviatán. They were so close to like making the beginning of the game work. But even if they won like this round, where by the way, John is cold for not even moving there. How does he know? I would have peeked him, bro. I would have tried to spray the box. How much? How much? How much?
What?
What?
I mean,
look, all I'm going to say
my
is...
soul, my heart,
video games, because video games, okay? Sometimes that happens. That was like literally right there. An animation difference.
I mean, but if we look at the rest of the game, John still would have won that round.
That's true, man. That round could have happened. I don't know if that would have been enough to like catapult Leviatán into the situation, because it just felt like time and time again, if it wasn't like the great plays, and of course, like players like Zelsis going huge as well, like there was just so much good coming out of Sentinel's side that even if they were able to get that round win, I just don't know if that was going to be the case.
It was coming from the retakes, just like this one right now with Zelsis. He got that
so clean.
early Viper's pit out. It was like just as the spike was about to get planted, pit. They're immediately scaling out into the site. He's running and gunning, going crazy, looking handsome with that male model pose in the photo. Gorgeous man. But it's those moments. The retakes were so good. Lev weren't proactive after they got the spike down, and Sen were just getting those full retake execs off every time.
It led them to like 4 clutches or something like that, and that just kills any momentum that you could have if you're Leviatán. I was kind of giving them a little bit of slack about the map coming into this series, but now I can't, man. That's not good. That's not forgivable. I mean, that's also, when you think about it too, Leviatán was good on split with that comp last year. They were fantastic at controlling mid, at doing so many things to use that double duelist, and here it's just like, it's different players, but the comp plays the same.
I mean, look, that is true. It is different players, though, different coach, different everything, right? I don't disagree with you, though. I also think that at this point, if you're Leviatán, split's got to go, right? And that's it. But let's actually go ahead and hear from the coach of Leviatán to hear what he had to say going into map 2.
I'm here with Goked from Leviatán. Now, that map did not go your way, but there is a map 2. What are we changing for map 2 to bring it to a map 3?
I think especially we need to speed up the tempo. Like, we were having some reads, but we were taking like way too long to execute it. And the tank was just running against us all the time, and we were in pretty bad situations. So I think we just need to speed up a notch and really play like more confident and more eager to play the rounds.
Best of luck.
Well, we'll need to see them up that pace and momentum going into map 2 here, which is going to be quite a challenge. Sentinels could very well close this one out here, Bala, 2-0, and send a super team home, and then we have to start asking some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good map for Sentinels, too. I mean, this is perfect, like you said, I think, in terms of the map, Vito. This is a Kaplan special, I would say, for Breeze coming back into the pool here. And, yeah, this is going to be tough for Leviatán to bounce back. 13-3 is not a scoreline that you want to start a series on.
But what are the win cons? What are the win conditions here for Leviatán? What do they do to stop this momentum from Sentinels, Wyatt? Pitch me.
Pitch you on the
Pitch
momentum.
me. Put on a turtleneck and sell me an app.
I mean, it's got to be individual, right? I think it's got to be Aspas. That guy was not in any of the plays. Like, any of the retakes that you're talking about so long, like, Breeze is a map where he has to be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just... Breeze and Split are very different maps.
Of course.
We're going to a totally different...
And for those who don't know, how is it different?
Well, Breeze is just so open. I mean, Split is just everything on Split is a little cubby. Breeze is wide open. You get an off on a guy like Aspas on a map like this, you're going to see results from that on its own. And also just results based. We have seen, it was, I believe, just in the offseason, but Lev, they did have good results on this map. Of course, Sen did as well, but it lends itself to the players that are on Lev, I think, for sure. You're going to get King on the Viper again, where he is a monster. So I think in terms of
Calm back on Sova.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In terms of role comfortability, I think you're going to have Lev feeling very nice on this map. That's one bonus.
That's fair. But feeling nice is different from...
That's not a win con.
That's not a win con. I asked for a win con, Poppy. You gave me... They feel nice. They're very nice.
NRG chilled their way to the playoffs.
That's true.
So listen, they can chill.
I do respect that. Let's see what we end up getting here with the agent select. But Bala, sell me on it then. Is that what it is? Is that really what it boils down to? Just the individuals because they should be going into roles that suit them here?
Well, no, it doesn't. But that would at least get them a few more rounds than they did on Split. You know what I mean? I think there's an element here of obviously the strategy going up against Sentinels. You have a lot of footage here that you can go back against, but there's not really anything for Breeze that you can really do. I mean, Breeze is a very simple map. I mean, it breaks down to a couple of good sight hits, some good mid control, but you can't get much more complex than that, to be honest.
Which isn't a bad thing. Let's be honest.
No.
That's just...
And I think that's good when I'm talking about individualism needing to step up, right? I think that's good if it's simple.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
And there you can see compositions. You're not really getting anything all that out of the ordinary. There's a way to play this map, and they're doing it. But my eyes get drawn immediately to the Jet Aspas. He's going to be in a playground here, potentially, to shut him down. It's going to be a tall task as well for the Sentinels team. But if there's a squad that is up to the task, it will certainly be them. We're ready for map number 2, Riot Games Arena. I can't speak English. Thankfully, these two commentators can. It's Brandon Sideshow.
Let's see if Lev can stand up to the test then. It's elimination on the line. One map that stands between them, continuing this series, continuing that lifeline, that chance to go to Madrid, or is it all going to peter out right here?
And also, no matter what the result of this match is, it's going to start and set in motion rivalries kicking off later down the road when it comes to our regular season and how people view these teams. You know, when you lose here and you don't have an opportunity to impress people further, that's it. For the beginning, for kickoff, that's how people are going to remember you, are these match losses. So Lev need to dig deep and pick themselves back up. Now, coming into this, we've got default compositions on both sides, but something very interesting to start off. You have Aspas and you have King and Tex buying these sheriffs to start off the round. 3 sheriffs on the attack side for Lev.
And that usage maybe of the range on the map, the long distance duels. Sentinels, hello. Side by side with the flash to set that one up. That is perfection! You're witnessing it.
There go 2 of the sheriffs.
Yep, painting a masterclass before our very eyes. And John QT, far back, safe position. Tucked behind the wall. Gotta know that they've entered into that. Was a nice double peek on top of it, but he's evacuating, giving it up.
Leviatán taking control of B here. There is still a trip on the site. But you've got to imagine with how comfortable Sentinels look playing retake on Split that they've drilled these retake protocols here on Breeze too. The wall's going to be helpful. Com court as well.
Look at that.
Trying to go for the backstab.
Sen biding their time, holding it down, and then they re-clear mid together with the peek all the way through. I mean, these players, do they stand a chance? Mazido and King got to come up with More than the goods here. The King.
How has King got
Lovely three-piece King. It's only down as Elsis. Hold up. Damage. He's weak. Right click's doing it. Spotting him into main, but King, you gotta think he's favored. It's all him. You gotta bow down before that.
How has he pulled these kills off? I mean, he's just... They came into the round with 3 sheriffs. 2 of them dropped to the floor instantly because Sen had that lovely pop flash play in. And Sen looked, again, disciplined, controlled, on the retake. Doesn't matter. King with 4 in the round. What a beginning. It's not really a particular, idea or play or team play that really wins that. But the individuals on Leviatán pulling through.
Ooh, through the wall.
That's a lot of damage.
Up down to 5. Never attempted with a flash here. They're all being picked up. The protocols seem a little bit dodgy by Lev, even though a one-rounder. You got to still expect they could just make the same play from the pistol.
And that's a really common setup as well. It's not like TenZ is innovating there with that flash.
No, it's pretty simple.
Same kind of feel to this as the pistol round. They haven't lost as many players, but it's still disadvantage for Leviatán coming into B. Sen happy to play retake. But with 4 pistols, they shouldn't really be favored in any of these long-range engagements.
They really shouldn't. Shots, 2 in a chamber, enough to get the job done for Aspas. Reload, reposition. Knife dealt with on top of it. Lovely damage there from the spam. It just looks curtains here for Sen. Really going down to Aspas, giving this guy easy access to the ultimate for a future round.
We haven't really seen anyone tear it up with the Outlaw recently. Like you said, this is great for the overall economy.
Aspas going for this?
You'd rather keep it, surely.
Surely, get back out of there. Will survive, I believe, yeah.
And the Sen players playing to deny those ult orbs that Aspas would love to have gone online. So a somewhat shaky beginning to this as Leviatán go up 2-0 and yet get caught by this play in A main every time. So that's got to be something that they're aware of. In general, I think this map, on both sides, you're going to see the same kind of combo. The primary smokes players for both teams have swapped over to play KO, to play the initiator, going back to roles where both of them are comfortable. And they're going to be trying to set up the jet on various different angles.
Walking off setup. The flash and the dart. Lobbed over into mid, just to feign like they're taking that early control. Now, that Outlaw, will it get any sort of value? It does force the full armor purchases from Sen, so nobody's in danger of being one-shot. Creeping around the map, it's Aspas. Drone spots him. 1 left for it, would have to be to the dome for the kill here. Now you start to see it, Util. Flying in, seeking to dissuade them from trying to take that kind of space. Second, he's gone. Taken out of the fight. Pop flash play. 10 to the reclear, but as the smoke drop down, Aspas is getting out of there once more. To safety now in numbers, playing with the rest of them. This one is going a bit skew with across to the map. Yes, Tix did fall. He was playing onto the flank there. They don't really have to worry about the mid presence as much, but it's a player disadvantage for Sentinels. Lev. Wonderful chance here onto the bonus. Underhanded. Flash. Mazzino pushing forwards. The reposition. Aspas still there, active. Into the fight here with the Outlaw. Cage up. Needs to be held with the ground. Half under the defuse. Such a wide face. Such a wide face. And Leviatán with the bonus round.
Very good idea there from Lev. I mean, you can see that they've put some serious thought into how they're going to approach this map. There was an opportunity there for Aspas walk down halls to find the opener. And instead, it actually drew so much pressure away that Tex was able to creep in and kill Zekken. On the defense side, it's really difficult to cover all of the lanes on Breeze now that Halls has been re-added. And if Lev are going to play this kind of slower pace style, I mean, Goked said increase the tempo, but here we're seeing a nice slow round played pretty well.
Nice Util comboed up. This time actually respecting the A main fight.
Another round where Leviatán are pushing people deep down halls. Now, we don't see a trip at the end of halls, and there wasn't one in the previous round either. It is fairly uncommon to have people full push down halls into the defender's spawn.
Here.
But having that trip there is just such peace of mind.
One down.
Weak enough.
And there you see Zekken is forced to jiggle peek it. No utility to hold that area. Punished for it. And this, I think, for Leviatán is going to really start conditioning Sentinels. They're either going to want to fight over halls themselves at the start of the round, have a trip there every time, or start pulling people away from the outsides of the map because they're worried about the lurks.
Revealing.
Looking into mid, that's Aspas. Look at that, plenty of targets to choose from. Looking the other way, but finally,
My ult's ready.
adjusting with the aim.
Spike planted.
Not much
Last
to do.
player
The 7
standing.
players with the guns that they do have. So another clean one here for Lev. Make their way up to 4.
Which is already more rounds than they got in the entirety of Split.
Yeah.
So you can see here that the map making an enormous difference.
The money
and also
is booming.
just momentum making an enormous difference. You think back to Split,
Yeah.
they weren't able to convert off the back of the pistol. Here, huge amount of momentum coming in because they're 4-0 up, but now they're also starting to get ultimates that can benefit the economy further. Aspas 8-1. He's a player that had to come online and has so far. Bladestorm in his pocket.
Nice work from Leviatán. There's that answer that we were expecting into map number 2. Breeze their map pick. Strong start. See the defensive trip setups. More set up to allow them into the site if they do choose to go over towards B, which Lev are putting their sights set over towards us. Nice shock dart. Gets rid of the cam and a trip that was set up a little bit prior. Now an attempt to exec.
The knife is fantastic there. It just tells Aspas that there's nobody playing towards site in an anchor position at all.
So all is focused onto the back of the side as soon as that wall goes down.
Tens has a lineup over towards ladder. Doesn't catch onto Aspas, so the Bladestorm's still online.
Spike planted.
Plan off for Mazzino. Tap. Warning shot. Second. Hello. Other side of the map. Just with the knives there. What more can you really do if you are Sen spammed in through? That was the underhanded flash to try and set that one up. Nasty business. Aspas, Mazzino. Cool, calm, collected. 2 versus 2 though. Still, you got to think time on the side of Lev here. It's ticking the position and they don't know where these players are. Even with the movement, it's offset. Zeltis can't survive. Gun picked up. Dash still there. Second. You'd have to be handed so many more after that. And King with the perfect swing. Doesn't let anything slip.
Another great round from Leviatán here, and it looks slow from Sentinels. I would say that in terms of trying to get into the site again for retake, you probably want to be so much faster than they were in that round.
Give me those back.
It's a good thing that they're looking for Com, who's always on a flank, always on a lurk when it comes to post plans. But the fact that they have nobody anchoring...
Let's go.
just made it so much more difficult for Sentinels to get into good retake positions early on. Now Zekken, because he had the Bladestorm online, now has money for an operator. Zelsis locks down B with a trip to try to help him maintain control in this area. Sentinels' defense just got a whole lot scarier with the ult and the op.
Lots of half armor targets though, definitely danger. Aspas still holding on to the outlaw. No one looking for a fight into mid though, at least on the defensive side for Sen. Grouped up, 3 players stacking over in A. And there's that cautious tail being woven. Sen. Warning shots fired and rattled, drone through to try and lead at least one of the players in. Tex, Cage, it's a gap in it. Still with the ult online, it means that Zekken actually can't dash out of there. He's kind of trapped, entangled towards the back of the side. He needs some support and assistance from the rest of his team. There's a dart here, lit up, Tex! That is monstrous. John QT to try and reply here, but there's already players approaching the position, and look at that, the plan going down without any issues whatsoever. Into the post, perfect molly. Forcing them back out into the open. You've got to try and double up here. For Sen, it's just looking too damn hard.
They need some picks early on. Com is in a great position to just win the round towards the end.
Another perfect molly. This time from Sendo, pushing the players out of the default spot. But you're right, they do need these picks, and Com The difference maker. The difference maker. An attempt there with the trade. Sassy gets it online, but he's just one man. What can he do? Back away. Escape with your life. Potentially an upgrade.
And look at how much the map change makes a difference for these teams. I mean, Lev are completely in control here. Sentinels was going for an anti-KO ult setup, where John Cutie had put down a trip on B, rotated over towards yellow, and they were stacking on A. Cam was watching the middle of the map. They had, as far as they were concerned, everything they needed. And it got broken to pieces by a flash recon setup. They were able to find the opener onto 10s and then crush second afterwards too. Lev are finding so many entries into the rounds. And it's unusual because we started out this map with Sentinels actually being the team to bring it on defense. Those flash peeks into A main were catching Leviatán off guard. When they went for early round aggression on defense, it was actually working. Yeah, they didn't win the round towards the end because King got a crazy 4K with a Sheriff. But the idea made sense and the idea was working to set them up with an advantage. Now Senna holding far back, sometimes full retake on one of the sites. And they just don't seem to have an ability to get back in. Lev so happy to fight them as they're trying to take that space.
They are really, really just backside positions being held by Sen. Perhaps that conditioning that you were talking about earlier with the halls lurks. I'm feeling like they have to just attach many bodies to try and watch that angle. I mean, to go for that push.
I think that round was a good example of it there in round 6 because they had a camera set up in Nest that could have watched that area. And then they had Sassy watching it as well and John Cutie in a passive position over towards yellow. So many people kind of ready in case it was a whole split. Just ended up giving up A main.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, Aspas, he picked up this Outlaw, I think, round 2. I don't know if he's reboarded at any point, but he has been just getting more, I mean, more than his money's worth. It's all the way to round 7. Half armor targets galore.
Yeah, they've won so much that it's become incredibly useful again.
Yeah, and just bank flourishing, booming.
And look, they go for this conditioning up holes again in the anti-eco. So using these anti-eco rounds to condition their opponent.
The game plan is good by Lev.
But this is one of the first times where we're seeing Sentinels go for like a contact re-clear. And Tex should get caught off guard there.
No way, no way! Just about escaping. Sassy though. Drops down and locks down that angle. John QT with a very wide face. There was nowhere to hide for Tex. Ult online. Couple of guns granted, and you're going to see the positioning of these players here. Lev, you've got to get a move on.
Extremely different approach in this round from Sentinels. They're the team pushing the tempo.
One player though to try and take the fight as John QT will pick his timings wisely. Doesn't look like he wants to overplay his hand. It's been clear. John QT. Absolute beauty with that one. Sassy opens the door wide. Is the face. 3 players in main for Sen to get onto the board.
And if Sen are looking to be that mobile and aggressive on their defense side, then it's going to catch Leviatán off guard a little. It's a huge thrifty to get them back into the game. They're still at an enormous round deficit. 11 now going to have to adjust a little bit. Tex was not ready for that push at all. He had a cam in elbow, could have been tapping in. Could have been thinking about the push. See if Lev make any adjustments here.
Zeno looks like they're making most of the adjustments there. Trip's been placed for double doors and A. Retake setup. Draft. Aspas with the attack side operator.
Looking to try to break a trip that I don't think John has ever placed there.
He hasn't been placing this one. Where is this Hunter's Fury being offloaded to? Where is the direction? I mean, it's such a large map. You're not going to get lucky. Nobody into mid. Tag up. Zelsis backing away. A weird start, a weird beginning.
That's super bizarre.
Cam does see all.
And this is where the whole split could come in.
It could, and it needs to come in right now. Clutch, surely for the team. Plan was pushed back. Aspas though, head removed off the shoulders. Counterpart finding it through the wall. Zekken is doing the most.
There's a lurk on a lurk happening here. Tex manages to find his way up and around the back, but he can't get a kill out of it. Zekken has dominated this round.
With shots. Reveals a position. They know exactly where Tex is, at least. It's going to be hovering around mid. Spike drop down as well. Hello. One opened up. Tens goes down. Surely there's no chance. Surely. 35 seconds left. Tex not making any moves towards it. Zekan's thinking about it.
30 seconds left.
Definitely thinking about it. You can hear the footsteps onto the sand, the rustling around. And yeah, he's just dropping into his face!
Awesome round from Zekan, though. Incredible stuff. As soon as that door opens at Switch, there's a lot of threat in the round. Because John Cutie could easily get overwhelmed. And actually, you saw Aspas with an op. Sorry, not the op. I think it was still the outlaw, wasn't it? Just peeking through here. No, it was the op. My bad. But either way, for Zekan to be able to grab that kill is enormous. Now Zekan's going to have the operator. Sen still need to play aggressive off the back of this, though. They can't afford to just let Lev get the plant down.
Seeing that setup now with the dart and a flash. It's comboed all together, but a dash backwards as they realize it's a fast play in through the B side. Trips in through the choke point, makes Lev think twice about it.
Yeah, and also the knife. Tens with a lineup knife into elbow caught almost everybody on Leviatán. No opportunity for them to go and use that timing to exec.
Forcing that brute force buffer re-clearance called by Lev now in through mid with the drone. It's good protocols here, but there might be something being cooked up. That's a close angle being held into main by Zelsis. Flash re-clearance. A little bit off with the timing, but not for Sassy. At least he does. Claim the one. Backs away. Needs to get out alive, though. He's tagged up. They're chasing him all the way down. Close to the door. Opens up. Back to safety.
Very nicely navigated there, but there's still danger.
The double doors. Texas and win it. Reactions from Tens. Expecting a follow-up into the wall. Sassy just didn't know. He's just operating purely off the timings that he expects there. 30 seconds roughly in the round for Lev.
30 seconds left.
But they still want to go for this. Tap. Nade forced out, going wide. Aspas still has the dash here, but well, can't contest his former teammate, a championship title. They earned that one together, but they shut the round down.
So much more proactive from Sentinels in these last 3 rounds, starting from the timeout with that eco push, but there in round 9, you see them get back into B after realizing that that hit had been called off, and the A players setting up another flash peek for information from Zelsis to support Sassy's walk down halls. It's not just an individual timing play from Sassy.
Well played. Let's go, baby.
It fits into the wider team narrative of what they're trying to achieve. And they, like I said, they changed up the game plan massively here on defense. They're trying to be more proactive, trying to contest Leviatán around the map, defensively re-clear certain areas too. And Lev kind of had it easy the first 6 rounds, being able to keep knocking Sentinels back down onto an eco, getting the plant down somewhat for free, forcing Sen to play full retake setups. And now they're really having to work for it and fight for the map control. This 6-round buffer that they had to work with at the beginning is quickly been chopped in half.
Let's force that timeout for Leviatán. I can sense it impending, really, just slipping away from them with that lead, like you said. Ult's online for them to use if they really did manage to get themselves onto a side. Potentially the Hunter's Fury of Com could be used to set things up. We know in the past this guy, when he's playing on EG, he was cooking up all sorts of plays with it. We'll see, though. Might be critical tools of the Viper's Pit as well to try and get themselves into a post plant.
And I actually think one of the things that Leviatán is missing a little bit are those aggressive lurks that you would potentially expect from some of the others on the team, but Tex has not been going for them too much. Here's the peek up over the top. Second did this in a prior round as well.
Has to respect, though, when the dart comes over and there's players hot on the heels. No noise made. Drone held, now released. Out into the wild goes the Owl, and tag there, pushing Zekan away from the tunnel. Reposted up at the cage. Throw some misinformation into the mix. Zekan now has to worry about 2 angles.
Yeah, there's a massive gap right now. In theory, Lev could have walked into Nest. And so Sassy's taking this timing to re-drone holes and walk down. Sassy's taking some portion of the map away, but again, in theory, there could be a lurker all the way deep for Lev. Sen calling the bluff, not worried about it.
Smoke down at the feet. Flash through as well. Zekan's got to try and find a shot. That's a really, really unorthodox position. John QT punished for it. And all that Util sent flying. Zekan, he can't stand it. Not against it. The onslaught, the rush. Incoming here from Leviatán. They've opened themselves up now to the site and to the post plant. Everybody intact.
Lev forced to work for this post plant, much more than we saw in the first 6 rounds. But they've done an excellent job of it. There's another punish onto 10s. And in a 2v4 facing this pit, unless they're able to get some random spam through, it looks very difficult.
Lovely pop flash by Mazzino, sets himself up for that.
Really well played this round from Lev. Overall, we've seen that defensive combo of the Cypher and Jet work out really well for other teams hard anchoring on B. But instead, they looked like they weren't really ready for Aspas doing the updraft dash setup. Mazzino's ult online. That's probably going to force Sentinels to play an anti-KO ult setup. Previously, we saw John Cutie put trips over towards B and then play A. It ended up being quite passive, that setup, though. But take a look at this. Aspas, he's in. Bit of counter spam there onto John Cutie. And the off not really in a position to do too much. I think Second was extremely worried about mid still.
Yeah.
He just didn't quite have the read that Lev were about to pop.
That mid-rounder was done a little bit earlier there by Lev, so they do bounce back from that. Sentinel still with money for the purchase this time. Dealing with the dart.
Not so much of an anti-KO ult setup coming out from John Cutie. Instead, Sen playing aggressive for mid control. You know, leaving both of the sites to play a retake setup, but one where they can push mid, try to target Leviatán's lurkers, of which they'll usually have at least one between Com and Tex. Although in this round, all 5 bundled up A main.
Senna giving them the space. Perfectly willing to do so. Far enough back into the position here. You're seeing liners, but here's a Hunter's Fury. Sets this one up. Surely a tag, yes. Damage, no, not quite. Only the one burst. Bringing down 10s. Plus 60, 70 HP through the box. Exchange of the bullets. Slung back and forth. Kills. The advantage now for Leviatán once more, but evened out, but right back at you. I mean, Aspas is not slowing down for a moment. Flash in his face, all up to 10s. Can't adjust the aim in time. Aspas, pure takeover on this map.
Anytime Leviatán are able to get into the site and push Sentinels back, they're winning the rounds. Right? We are not seeing that 2/3 retake win percentage that we witnessed from Sentinels on Split. They've only won 1 retake round. Everything else has gone the way of Lev. So for Sen, you need to fight in this final round. You need to get 4 on the board because Lev are running away with it. As dominant as map 1 was for Sentinels, Leviatán have answered right back so far.
Veteran presence on the team. Able to withstand it. Blade Storm. Another flash play. No one to deal with the dart either. Got that tag onto Zekken, so he has to respect it and play towards the back of the site. That's fast, trying to take the door straight to it. Jet counterpart, King taking out 10s, door opened wide and just swinging, facing from so many different directions. The Russia players and bodies, Sentinels were finding it difficult to hold on.
4v3 post-plant, already Com looking to see whether a flank is possible. King with double snakebite, already playing the lineups.
Com is so fast, look at this guy's just running with a knife out straight into the double doors. Might be being watched here. Sen, gotta have some level of awareness for it. You can hear them. Pin to pass with the footsteps. They reveal the perfect position of the players. 9-3.
Very dominant from Leviatán. Anytime they got towards the site, they were able to execute. Aspas coming online. If it was Zekken that dominated map 1, Aspas is finding his moments, and plenty of them map 2. Mazzino just straight back to looking awesome on flex.
Yeah. Hasn't missed a beat with it, really, has he? Absolutely insane stuff. Well, let's send it down to Golden Boys, down in the crowd. Let's do this again, shall we?
Right now. In any case, so guys, we got Sentinels fan, we got Leviatán fan, we got a hot crowd. How you guys feeling today? Oh. Sweet. All right. Well, okay. So Leviatán are looking fantastic right now. What do they need to do in the next half to keep this momentum going?
Aspas got to be on fire, man. It's all about the Aspas show. It's about the Com show. Tex, King, Mazzino, they're all going to be on popping off tonight. Let's go!
Let's go! That's what he says. Okay, Sentinels, though, they got to come back. What do you think they need to do?
Okay, so it's all about the coaching Kaplan, Drew, my boy Drew, he's got in the bag, especially in Zaddy, of course, and you know what? So 9-3 Curse, the usual stuff, and Aspa's got nothing on Sen Society, nothing on Sen City.
Nothing on the Sen Society, Sen City. Okay, we have a lot of new faces on these teams. Who, I know you mentioned Aspas before, but who else on this squad are you just absolutely stoked to see on this stage?
Gotta be King, man. He's a king for a reason.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. What about for you, my friend?
I already said it once, I'm gonna say it again. It's all about Zaddy.
Okay.
It's the entire thing going on.
Okay.
It's all about Zaddy. It's about Zelsis, and I mean, you know what? Ten's got something going on too, and then a little bit of John QT, Saucy, the ball buff. I mean, we got everything going on for Sen City right now. So.
Well, as someone who also has the ball buff, I do appreciate you mentioning my guy Saucy over there. All right, but we got a little bit of time, so why don't we go ahead and get a temperature check from the crowd? Who do you think's gonna win? Sentinels? Sentinels! Or what about Leviatán? What about Sentinels? Oh man, the crowd's hot down here. It's going to be awesome, but for now, we're going to send it back to two of my favorite people in the world. We got Bren and Sideshow. And give these guys a massive round of applause for coming up here last minute. Take it away, boys.
All right, you know, listen, I thought I misheard stuff. Heard the word Zaddy, and then it was repeated 2 more times. And I was wondering who's that referred to. Then I found out it was Zelsis.
Absolutely. Are you unaware?
Revealing too much of my inner monologue.
This is going to be an extraordinarily important pistol round for Sentinels. Aspas still buying the Sheriff on the pistol, but this time on defense seems to make a little more sense to me. Zekin cannot afford to take a duel there, but he gets good info that there's 2 players over towards Halls. There was a lot of support for Sen in the crowd, and I'm sure they were stoked after map 1 and how outrageously one-sided split was. Sen looked completely clean with it. But they are going to have to work to get this one even back to close to even.
Starts with a pistol round here. Lev trying to put a stop to it. All over the place at the beginning of the defensive setup. It was like a series of ants just losing track of the pheromones. Celsius. Con being caught there onto the lurk. It's a big one. It's an open sight on top of that. So Sen will get that plant down. Nothing to push them back. Nothing to play away from this, and it looks like a chance potentially to play into the back of the site. 2 players close to default. 10's in second with a jump spot. One flash still available.
This is where Leviatán were fighting aggressive and finding moments to put pressure on the retakers.
Pop flash, no one to receive. No connection there. Nothing to link that one back up. And here, swarming, pincering into the site here. Has to be all coordinated together. Lev might be able to find something for this. Guns, Tex! Whips that one around, doesn't he? Shock darts, buying time, lineups, buying time still. The players losing the fight, ticking down and down. Aspas realizing he can't quite stick this one. Has to be. Watch for King! No way! Sentinels barely holding on.
There were shock dart lineups coming through. We had Celsius in spawn, sending over the molly into his orb, putting pressure on Lev and stopping them from getting on the defuse early at just the right time. I was worried there for Sen, though. They made that one look a little close. Found themselves in a really good post-plant situation, but then Ten's just got almost abandoned on site, just designed to try and tick as much time off the clock as possible.
Yeah, it's a difficult spot to play from. When you're in that default spot, you can get cleared very, very easily.
Especially when the rest of your team are just playing off-site post-plant lineups.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the pain of that. They're gambling that this one's going to finish on A. Some of the teams that have had the most success on defensive freeze have just been stacking the opposite side to their Cypher utility.
Right here.
And kind of assuming that the attacking teams are going to be grouped up heavily when you first hear them at the beginning of the round. Sen are going to try to remain a little mobile. But they are leaning A.
Into the gamble, potentially. Nothing given away. Up through mid, still 50 seconds left. They hear that jump spot.
I don't think Com saw anybody. Celsius may have just shot at him.
Here we go, knife into the back clears quite a bit there, so they feel safe now. The exec to come through onto B.
A nice splash from Tens as well, thrown from Tunnel, to allow Zekin to come out of his cloudburst, just in case there was any danger on site.
If you're thinking there's any chance here for Sen to try and take this in a 2-0, has to be a clean conversion here against the anti-eco. Keep this one moving.
And not just that, it would be nice for TenZ to be the one to mop up most of these kills, because his KO ultimate could be the tool to getting some momentum online and getting them back into this game.
They want to fight for it. Two players that are all close, it's TenZ and Zelsis. Flash is a little bit bad there. Hunting down these players, but everybody from Lev being funneled into the tunnel. John happy to go down here when he's just got the ghost in hand. TenZ swinging round, kills. And give it onto the opposing side. Everybody down to the spike.
And I think Lev, that's a bit of a win in the round for them. Denying the ult points away from Sentinels. That takes a potential tool out of the hands of Sen that they could have used, like I said, to continue that momentum. I'm really looking at how Sen try to apply some pressure here. On these bonuses, you tend to have weaker weaponry. Guardian in the hands of Zekken, double Bulldog.
Scanning ahead.
Still passing by straight overhead. Flash dart and a flash dart.
And John Cutie's making his way up halls. So while Leviatán seemed to be conditioning the threat in halls early in their attack half, Sen have not really gone there, and now are trying to potentially make use of the fact that Lev are going to leave it open.
Mid-play to the beginning here. Corm ended up using his drone very, very early. Does not have it now.
And this is quite a passive setup, right, from Leviatán. One of the big weaknesses with this defensive setup from Lev is that they only have one person, Com, covering multiple different lanes. Halls and that push-up into vents.
Goal is going to be an A-split. Sees the footsteps, gives him the right timing, Aspas!
There's no way.
He doesn't win the fight! Should have been set up for it. Surely, you'd imagine. So King anchoring round to the back there with the door open. Ah, John QT, instantaneous with the swing and the trade.
And this is looking amazing already for Sentinels. The conversion on this bonus could be right
30
here.
30 seconds left.
Still chances for Lev, of course.
TenZ is going for the reflank through halls.
So weak here, 5 HP. Doors opened up. They know there's at least one player there. Nade into the back. Out wide, double face from Sen. Sassy still holding down that one angle, and I talked about chances. TenZ, last one left forward, 5 HP. Mazino sees him first.
Great awareness there from Leviatán. And the spray down too. That certainly looked like a round that Sentinels could have converted and brought this one a lot closer. Lev managed to dismantle it. The economy is now in a really odd spot for Sentinels. TenZ bought that round. They wanted to add more power to the buy. Took a gamble down a few rounds, got into a favored post plant. And then John Cutie and Sassy just couldn't win those duels to hold on for TenZ's post plant lurk. You can see what that means. Kaplan's expression there. So because it wasn't a true bonus, Sen are now coming in here with a Guardian and a Stinger. Similar kind of economy to what we saw in round 15. It didn't hurt them too much there. They still have chances to win.
Sloppy on both sides, though, here. Lev are also chopped down to half-armor Guardians. He's for Aspas and Com.
TenZ has the ult online, and you can see what that's done. The Cypher on the other side, making sure that they can't get punished by this KO ultimate.
Well away from the setup. The goal is that B split. Yanking players are going to be set up for success. Lev, really feeling the heat. It's all the way turned up. Beautiful flash, though. Aspas wide, no kill. 40 HP. Oh, chasing down the kill.
That's a disaster for Sen. They should have had Aspas kept to right.
This guy is still here. He just can't be removed from this position. Finally, Sassy takes a drop straight to him, but you're right. It's a disaster right now for Sentinels. A disaster. The results into the 11th round here for Lev.
It's a fantastic flash. I called it out in a prior round, right? The B split, TenZ flashes for Zekken to be able to entry. They completely catch Aspas. He's out in the open, 40 health, one bullet would have taken him down, blinded up, and somehow managed to dodge around these boxes. And John and TenZ both decided to push through the wall to try to fight him. He's got backup and he hits a nice Guardian shot.
Let's go.
Insane situation for Lev to be able to hold on there. And that's a dagger to the heart of Sen. Round 15, it really looked like the comeback was possible, that they might start to generate some kind of momentum, and Lev have just slammed the door shut in their face.
11-5, second timeout now, tens. Sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard at 5 and 14, maybe a bit of that comfortability settling in with him on the KO.
The thing is, I really like a lot of the utility that Tens is throwing, but because he's playing so supportively, he's not in his common positions where he's, you know, super tight to second, ready to trade the kills, that kind of thing.
It's a hard role.
So yeah, he's being put into a slightly more supportive role there and struggling to find the fragging value, even though his utility is good. Sen's economy is the worst looking part of this though. Zekin can afford the hero rifle because he'll have the Bladestorm online no matter what next round. But it is an enormous uphill battle, and it's looking more and more likely with every round that passes that we're going to be heading to bind as a decider.
Would that be something?
Extremely comfortable territory for both teams. It would be an explosive finish to this series and to this group.
It's been a weird one so far, both one-sided affairs on either side of the maps. No way! Aspas!
How does he still get one in that position?
It's just filthy. Magnetic to the dome. He just shouldn't be getting one, should he? But he does, just Aspas things.
It's not a weapon that's particularly recoverable. They still have Zekin's Vandal, so Zelsis can work with that. And Lev double pushing down halls to try to reclaim some information. They've lost mid-control. They hear the orb being tapped.
Yep.
Zelsis just squeaks away.
Silent drop down. They are none the wiser. Right
this is so fast.
Them. Lurking through, the tempo increased. Sassy, he's gone. Dark close, drone now. Second guessing himself, calm. And he might have pushed up deep here. Zelsis sticking a plant this time.
Spike planted.
Knife, a little bit delayed there, but it does cancel out the drone to get too much more value. Flash, push, anti-flash by Com. Great awareness.
Very well aware.
Players now approaching the position here, diving onto them. Zelsis here, he's got to do so much here, but there's 3 players rapidly approaching the position. And no easy fight here from King, no easy fight at all. Lev, up to that 12th now. And he's one-sided maps.
It has been a bizarre series. Clearly both of these teams are up towards the top in terms of Americas. This has been an astoundingly competitive and tough group. And yet they're blowing each other out on their map picks. I mean, Leviatán did not have a chance map 1, and it looks like Sen are having very limited chances here map 2 as well. It's so strange too, we started this map off with Lev being unaware of the pop flash plays into A main. They were so hyper aware there. Mazzino was playing anti-flash the entire time, fully expecting Tens to go for that. The punish was immaculate.
Here.
Cleaned up their game.
And Sen have got to win 7 in a row.
One more round will do it, and you can see it. Misplays. Well, not quite a misplay, actually. It was Mazzino's flash that landed into Zekin's face. Stops him from pushing forwards. Another one to set them up deeper. It was Tens this time. Aspas! Out in the open. Wide as anything. Going for the repeat with the dash. Still there. Crouch. That's Tens. Tens. Dash. Avoiding, evading. Mazzino with the swing. He's definitely that supportive player helping him out. Drone. Tagged up trap. Cannot evade it. And cannot dodge it. For Sentinels, everything is just lying onto this round here. Tens with another one.
And an unusual play there by Com. I think he must have heard the call that they were committing to B, because Com just sprinted out through double doors and has given this away for his team.
3 versus 3. Neural theft. Revealing all. King with the reposition. Lev getting caught.
Lev have lost track completely of what's going on in this round.
All over the place. Does buy a bit of time, though, for Sen with this plant. Getting down, 2v3, can't let it slip. Been handed a golden ticket, at least to stay in the map. Nade. Back against the wall, Sassy wins his fight. 2 players to support him, in through main, and a possibility for Mazzino. And I'd have to toggle in this spot, and yeah, not happening.
And Sen have got to convert those kind of rounds where Leviatán make unforced errors. I am still confused. There must have been some major communication issue there with what Lev thought was happening. Because Sen had just taken some mid-control. They knew that there were still players in mid. It's a nice shot on a weird off angle. But they knew that TenZ was there. They just had that kill. And yet, Com and King lost track of what was happening entirely. So that's the first of what would have to be, again, 7 in a row in order for us to go to overtime. So many other chances for Lev. But their economy, kept honest, has now been knocked down.
Still, you got to think. So much breathing room for Leviatán. They only need the one.
When you're a player in this situation, it does sometimes just feel kind of inevitable. Like, yeah, we're going to get one at some point. We don't have to worry about it too much. But as the comeback starts ticking up, things can get very real very quickly.
Poison's off.
Slight mid-pressure here from Sentinels. They are taking their time with it. They're worried about wading and walking into a potential stack of Leviatán.
Now, we've seen this angle before. It didn't work out for Aspas, but it should. It's so unexpected. The drone should clear it, however.
Yeah, has to respect it. Drops down, protects. Close to the corner. Bonnie hopping away. Zekken.
He made a footstep. Mazino knew he was there.
Even the sound cues betrayed by it. Up through mid now. Different direction called by Sem with only 33 seconds left. The rotation has been pulled by Lev. Look at it. They've got so many bodies just sitting into halls, expecting that to go in that direction, but all of them now regrouping up. Recognizing what's on the line. John QT is traded.
The trade is actually perfect for Leviatán. It gives them another gun to work with.
Sassy's going down. All of this, it's crumbling. And yes, the Viper's pit is up, but Celsius, you got a lot to do in this spot. 3 players. Guns acquired. And that one round that stood between them, Lev, they can feel it now. Under their control, in their grasp. A chance for map 3, and we will get it.
Lev on a thrifty, pulling it away. Dashing the chances of Sen to get any kind of comeback going. So dominance from both teams on their map picks. Clearly understanding the map veto really well, considering this is the start of the year. Bind awaits.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, you know, maybe Breeze, a bit of a wild card to throw in there with the changes thrown into the mix a little bit last minute, heading into VCT, but clearly working out here for Lev. Get them right back into the driving seat. They're not feeling the hurt from that one-sided affair on Split. We head into that bind map now.
And as it is the 3rd map of the series, it's going to be more even territory for sure. Both teams feel super confident on that map. It should be explosive.
Well, time for a quick break. When we return, the analysts are all going to be getting us nice and ready for that critical, crucial map number 3 in this elimination game.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.